the teacher in the Eastern wisdom, that is why they are known as guru. Teacher is not simply passing on the information and education. They say that you are the real self. The way I understand, I am the real self. So the teacher believes 100%, all the seekers. But the seeker doesn't believe in himself that I am the real self. That is why it is taking a long time. But it has to take a time because of the mind. Teacher says you are the real self, but the seeker thinks and raises doubt. Yes, they should raise the doubt. But it demands a constant listening, learning, contemplation, reflection. So what happens? You settle into a meditative state. Oh, without any practice, answer is yes. Now the knowledge is 100%. How can you say the knowledge is 100%? You had a dreaded dream. And the moment you wake up and you falsify, dream is all false. Dream is all false. You just decide it. You just understand it. Okay? Well, but when the Rati, Trapti and Drashti comes, why don't you decide that it is false? You forget it. So that forgetfulness is ignorance, it is delusion, and it is foolishness. So that is why we need a repeat listening and learning. See another example. Perception. Perception also means experience, it means awareness, it means knowledge. So I have a beautiful experience in my youth. I was full of energy. Now I am old, less of energy. Which of the two experiences do I depend upon? So one experience of the old age falsified another experience of my youth. So, but what I do, I carry forward. I run after the experiences because I like pasta. Let us go to that restaurant. Oh, let us have tried this. This perception, this mind is not ready to change. It cheats you, it deceives you. And these thoughts haunts the mind. And those thoughts are pertaining to Rati, Tripti, and Trishti. So once I understand mind, smile. Mind, where are you going? Where are you going? So now see the meditation. See the meditation. There is no intention in the sense organs. Eyes are open, so it is looking at you. It's okay. It is not bringing the past memory. I saw that handsome guy, which is more or less handsome than this guy whom I am looking. Eyes and the sounds. All the perception has no intention. Mind has no intention. So when it has no intention, it is empty. What is that do you mean by intention? That is Rati, Trapti and Trishti. There is no other thing.
I've noticed when I'm the other night I was walking and sort of just experiencing being, right? But then the mind would say, "Oh, this is progress," or "This is," and I would laugh, right? And I would just let it go away or let it die down because I thought, no, I'm not going to play that game, right? Where I become the mind saying that I'm awakened to some degree, right? I just laugh and stop and go back to awareness. But I've been doing that constantly. But it's funny when I'm in that state, my mind immediately wants to jump in and say, "See, you're in that state. Look, the blah blah blah." And I'm like, oh, nope. Subtle shift, but it happens.
Yes, that should happen, but that should not disturb me. Now, another asked the question that why we get disturbed. Because we are a mixture. What is that mixture? There is a mixture of the false I and the real I. No, no, no. No, no. Let me make me understand. There is a mixture, there is an impurity, there is a superimposition in you. When I say in you, for you, that you is I am. What is that mixture? What is that mixture? So just pay attention. The moment you wake up, you had a bad dream or a good dream, you say you falsify it. So that attitude of the mind to falsify the dream as a false is wonderful, is really good. Everyone does it. What about the waking state? Why don't you falsify those experiences that is driven by Rati, Tripti and Tashti? The way you have falsified your dream, events are the same. In dream, you have the same event, you have the same, almost the same event in the waking state. Only difference, the dream lasts for a short period and the waking state of events, relationship with the dad and mom and honey and siblings and profession are the same. Only one lasts for the longer period, other lasts for a shorter period. What is longer period and shorter period? In time and space. Time is constantly changing. Even the time is not continuous. So what happens? When I feel in the waking state, I can stretch this time. It is because of Rati, Tripti and Tushti. Let me make you understand what is this mixture in a different way. Pond is clear in the afternoon. Sun is there on the top. That sun reflects into the pond and you start searching the sun in the pond. This is a mixture. And that pond is the mind. That pond is the mind. But did the sun fell from the sky to the pond? Answer is no. Did the happiness fell into the pasta in a particular restaurant? Answer is no. I'm now translating that metaphor in a easily understood. So there is a mixture. The false I says, "Oh, here is the sun." Now what happens? Here is the sun. I become the sun. When I wake up instantly from a dream, that in the mind or in the intellect, let me take it mind, intellect, and ego as simply the mind. That mind has an I-ness. And that I-ness says this I is the real I. So I can brush aside the dream events the moment I wake up, but that I am is created in the waking state. And then what happens? This is real, why don't you understand? My honey doesn't listen to me. Or I have to divorce, or I have to fight, or I have to struggle, that I belongs to the false I. But I have taken it as a real sun. But when I take it as a real sun, then I become the doer. The moment I become the doer, but why I become the doer? To enjoy. But how? By Rati, Tripti and Tushti. And when you understand it clearly, means your perception changes, your experience changes, and when your perception changes, your experience changes, your knowledge changes, you are settled in the real self.
one thing I realized, if you play with one sense at a time, it doesn't really validate anything, right? Like I was thinking about hearing, and I was thinking, if my eyes are closed, I have to use my imagination on what the sound was, right? I imagine it came from a wagon that was going down the road, right? So it doesn't really have any reality. And I was realizing that in any time I could close my other senses, but then once you start combining them, it starts to really create this illusion because there's so much input, right? It's like a perfect setup to to
Yeah.
make the world appear real. But when you pull the senses individually apart, they kind of don't stand on their own. I was experimenting with this, and I found it to be kind of
It's a deeper
interesting.
insight. It's a very deeper insight. And you reminded me of my days with J. Krishnamurti, with whom I spent about 3 months, days and night. So I'll give you that example. I said, how do you perceive a fan was running with a big noise in his room? I said, how do you perceive the fan? He said, I see the sound different than the movement of the fan. Two sense organs, they are separated. So they don't disturb me. That's a beautiful thing. I said, then what happens to the sweet shop? We have Indians, eat a lot of sweet. That sweetness word is different from the shop. My perception and my palate. So two sense organs are separated. Now here comes what I wanted to guide you as we progress into this journey. So what happens? You have to be very clear and you can settle into the meditation easily. What is that point? First thing, that in sleep state, I is not there. So whether I am Elon Musk or I'm Girish or I'm President Biden or Trump, all are same. That I am is not there. I am as an individual is not there. But go back, go deeper. Why I am is not there? Because the mind is not there. Simple. Mind is absent. Mind is absent in deep sleep. Mind and the body. So both mind and the body is absent. Very good. The moment I wake up, when I use the word I wake up, there is a pure consciousness, there is a sun, mind becomes active, that real self reflects into the mind, and then it looks at the body, then it says, I am the body. Now examine this. I am the body. How to examine this? Does the body says that you are sitting? Does the body says that you are sleeping? Does the body says you are dreaming? No, body doesn't say. All the rati, trapti and trishti in association with the body takes place. The body does not have an I am. Body does not have an I am. So who has an I am? Mind. That is what the ego is. That is what the I thought is. Oh, I am. Just see, I am. Is it coming from the body or the mind? It is coming from the mind. Body does not say that, look at it, I'm moving my hand, I'm talking to you. No! That I am, that individuality, that false I lives in the mind with reference to the body, with reference to the identification with the body. We have to understand. As long as this identification is there, it hides the real self. So there is a mixture between real I and the false I. The moment you are perceiving, you understand, you are aware. I gave you an example. This is false I. Done, finished. The moment you recognize, come on, what you are doing. Finished. So the entire journey of a higher meditation is to engage the intellect. Intellect or the mind is engaged in I am, individuality, in rati, in tripti and tushti. Now the same I is engaged in examination of the nature of the real self. Then what happens? You educate the mind to find the false in the real. Then you empower the mind to think, speak, and act in your personal, professional, and social lives. And when you empower, you enter into a higher level of consciousness. That higher level of consciousness is the fourth one. You evolve into a new state of the consciousness. There is a new perception. There is a new perception. And in
Even the
that
body,
new perception, you enter
if I
into.
if I look at the body, there's no way I I don't experience it at all, right? But if there's a sensation,
Yeah.
that I experience. But the body itself, when I look at it, I'm like, I don't actually feel. I don't. It's an illusion that I that I'm in the body, right? It's fascinating to see.
Another important point is very important. When the moment you said that I experience the sensation, that I plus experience taking place in the mind, the body has to do nothing. Body is inert. Body is matter. That is why I said, does the body says that I'm sitting, I'm sleeping, I'm laughing, I'm crying? No. Body is not saying, body is inert. This monitor in front of me is not saying that, oh, now look at me. Now you look at this guy. Body, that inert, it is inert. It is matter. It is not saying anything. But what you said just now, I'm stressing, I am feeling the sensation. Because now identification with the body is already there. Identification is there. So we start falling into ignorance because identification is there. So there has to be rati, there has to be tripti, there has to be tushti. How it comes? Because that I becomes the doer. And why it becomes the doer? To have an enjoyment. What kind of enjoyment? The rati, tripti, and tushti. So when I sit into meditation with that understanding, with that contemplation and reflection, there is no thought, even the thought comes, oh, let it, you come and go. Not interested. Not interested. So that disinterest, uninterest, is a quality of the real self. It is the quality of the sun. Whether the sun falls on the pond or on my house or on me, the sun does not change. Real self does not change. So behind the false side, the real self does not change. To be aware, to know, to experience is what the higher state of meditation is. And it can happen in any state, any time. This is what our Master Krishna is talking about it. Take another metaphor to understand that would be better. In Arizona, we do a lot of hiking on the mountains. I'm giving another beautiful metaphor. It prompted my mind to see that. A vast, imposing mountain, people flock to it seeking the happiness and fulfillment they believe lies within its hidden treasure. How? Some seek gold in the gold, hoping wealth will bring them the joy from the mountain. Others seek fame and recognition. Some start the hiking, adventure, and excitement. Mountain. I'm equating that mountain is a real self. The true treasure of the mountain is not something hidden within its depth, but the mountain itself. Not the sun, it is the sun itself, not the rays of the sun. Mountain, its strength and majesty, its unwavering presence. You go and just see the unwavering presence of the mountain, its majesty. So the majesty of the real self reflects. And if we use it for the utility, oh, let me use it for hiking, let me excavate my gold, that is the problem. Mountain are immovable. It is vast. It is supportive. Real self is immovable. It is vast, all pervading. It is supportive. Can I talk to you? I say I am talking to you. That is the false I is talking. We need that false I. I am talking. But okay, you are talking? Yes, you are talking. Minus consciousness, can you talk? Supportive, immovable. It is always there. So when I recognize it, all my rati, tripti, and trishti falls down. I fall into meditation. I'm already into that state of meditation. Let us see a couple of more examples to make you understand. You have $1 billion in your account. Does that make you rich? Yes, it makes me rich. Really? Are you sure? You see the false perception. Does the dollar says you are rich? Does the dollar doesn't say that you are rich? Dollar does not chase Elon Musk that you are the richest guy. It is I am, my individuality that comes from the mind in front of the real self. It veils the real self. First, it veils the real self, then the I am is associated with the body, then I am the body who possesses $1 billion in the bank account, then this I am a rich guy. Dollar doesn't say that you are rich. Does your body says you are man or woman? Ask yourself. Does the body say that, oh, you are a man, But without any identification, I cannot say I'm a man or woman. But yes, for transactional reality in the world, yes, we have to say I'm a man and woman, I'm a professional, I'm a teacher, etc. But not getting attached to it. Body does not say I'm rich, I'm bad, I'm good, I'm waking, I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming. Body does not say at all. It is the mind that has created I am, which is saying it. And behind that I am, there is a pure consciousness, and that is what the real self is. How can you say? I give an example that in deep sleep, Elon Musk, you, me, Biden, Trump, Biden does not recognize that he is going to leave the office in deep sleep. So that Trump also do not recognize that he is going to take over as a president day after tomorrow. It is sleep. It also means that I have no stress, no pleasure, Oh, that I am identified with the stress and that is why it says I am stressed? Yes. I am present. Always in a waking state. Biden says yes, still 2 days. Trump says only 2 days are left. You see this I am. Look at this I am. I am pleased with me. But behind that, the real self remains the same. Real self remains the same. I am. I am the body. I have a bank account. I have $1 billion. You see, series of ignorance that causes the problem. So I need not to struggle and fight with those thoughts. Let me come, thought, you have come, let me recognize. Oh, this is my experience. No, let me recognize. I recognize, finished. It is gone. But when I struggle and fight with these I am in the thoughts and feeling and experiences and perception, I am strengthening the wrong experiences, false experiences. And when I experience the false perception, I get into trouble, I fall into ignorance, and I have a problem. Master is saying in these verses beautifully. Maharaj says, these are the metaphors, I'm giving you to have a deeper insight into these verses. This is, the Arjuna is saying that it is very terrible and difficult to control the mind. Why? Because of the I am. You recognize I am, drop it and see what happens. It's gone.
I mean, I think it happens on its own,
It
but not
happens on
really.
its own.
It
Yes.
does, but does that make sense? I don't know how to describe it.
Yes, you're right. It happens on its own. Why it happens? The sun does not has any intention to impact the pond or impact the earth. Sun just, it says, I give light, and that's all. That's all. I take that light as mine. I take the amount of dollars, the quantity of that dollars is translated by I am as a rich and the poor guy. Dollar does not. Body does not say I'm a man or a woman. The moment I say man, I am a man, so I have already separated the women. Now, how to build a relationship? Mind says, I know what the mind knows, Rati, Tripti, and Trishti.
I feel like even saying I'm a human being is misleading in so many ways, right?
Yes.
It's like super false, because then you're just being a body, right? It's like a subtle identification.
You see, I gave an example. I am President Biden. Only 2 days are left. See the emotions. Trump says only 2 days are left. See the emotion and expression. Both are in a waking state. Both have the mind. Both have the I am, that is the mind. Based on my Rati, Tripti, and Tusti, I have a different expression. Both have an expression from the false I. So simple. So simple to see the reality that post of a president will continue to remain present. It was present for the last almost 200 years of democracy in US. It will continue to be present in the future also. But that I am is taking over. That pond sun is taking over the real sun. Pond sun, reflected sun is the mind, and that is the I am. That is taking over the real sun. We miss the whole picture of the real self. There is a mixture. When you separate this mixture, you are in meditation. You have crazy millions of the thoughts. It is because of that I am. So Krishna is saying, attack that root cause. I am. I am. And once you remove that root cause, means mixture. You have to discern. You can only separate inside your mind. There is no way you can separate outside. And what happens? You are already in the Gita. Gita says you have to understand this both. Love and the wisdom. Again, going back to the same love and the wisdom. The wisdom, the light of the consciousness that reveals the truth, and instantly you find the bliss of complete fulfillment. That bliss of complete fulfillment is what is the unconditional love. Unconditional love.
One thing I've experienced lately, I had an insight, and I totally understand when it says, once you realize the self, there's nothing left to do, right? And there's nothing left to learn. When you started looking, having experiences, the idea of regular things or learning, I
Yeah,
can't even, I mean, it's a joy to be doing anything,
yeah.
right? But like the idea of spending energy and emotions on learning such a false, I could see it just being yeah, what else would there be to do? There's nothing left to be
There is
done.
nothing. It doesn't mean that I should not do. Let me engage in my profession, gain some expertise, learn new. Oh, yeah. You are always engaged in action minus the doer and the enjoyer inside your mind.
I was gonna say, but I saw that I never does anything,
Yeah, that
right?
is.
Like you're active, false I is active,
Yeah, yeah.
or nature is active, but I could see that awareness of self, it's there for sure, and it's the cause of it, but it's not doing it.
Yeah,
I was eating food, and I was like,
yeah,
how amazing that I can hold an apple, and then there's no longer an apple in my hand. I didn't see where it went. Right?
yeah, yeah.
It just disappeared into
Yes,
existence. It became a human body, or it went back into whatever. And I think even just eating is really fascinating because what is that? Nobody looks at it. And I'm like, it shows how temporary and unreal, right? How did I turn a candy bar into a human body? It's
yeah.
maybe they're not separate at all.
Beautiful. I'm giving your expression a very calibrated response. Teaching comes from the Shankaracharya, who written a beautiful verse. What he says, na punyam na papam na sakyam na dukkham na mantro na tirtho na veda na yajna aham bhojanam naiva bhojyam na bhokta. I am not the eater. In the third line he says, I am not the eater, coming from the I am. I am not the food that I recognize. It is I am is recognizing here is a food. And I'm also not the eating very process. Who I am behind it. Everything is done by the false I.
But then I laughed because I realized, yes and no, I'm also all of it,
Yeah,
right? Because if I'm all pervading,
yeah,
I'm obviously not separate parts or food or a body, but I'm also what makes all that be. I can see the contradictions in the teaching
yeah.
because there's so
It's a,
many
it's a,
levels of mind, right?
yeah,
And it sounds like it's not making sense, but it makes perfect
yeah.
sense.
It makes a perfect sense. Science also talks, but briefly, because they are scared they will lose all the research studies. They talk briefly about the paradox logic, and they have experienced that paradox logic. Electron behaves like a particle and also behaves like a wave. It is a great mystery for the science to solve that how come it behaves like both. In Eastern wisdom says in between the paradox logic lies the real self.
Is that manifest and unmanifest? Is
Yes,
that
yes,
what that
yes, yes.
is?
It is all clear. I'm the doer and I'm not the doer. You see, I'm the speaker, but inside I'm not the speaker. In all the activities, you have a paradox logic that holds true. In between it, that is a right perception. You tilt on one side, you tilt on the real self, you are absorbed deeper into the meditation. You tilt totally on the other side, you have a rati, trapti, and tushti. You see that this is what, once we recognize this in our daily life, recognition means what? Recognition means that I do not allow the false I to veil, to cover to create a curtain over the real self. Let both be together. Intention, what I have to do with an intention. So if I say what I have to do with an intention, that I am is gone. What I have to do with an intention of the rati, tripti, and trishti, that I am is gone. Oh, that I am is gone, yes. But are you not eating? Yes, I'm still eating. So the paradox logic holds true. Oh, it is such a beautiful way. 24 hours of modern life is a cycle of rati, tripti, and tushti. I'm just stressing this because it comes from the same Gita, so it will come in detail and perhaps the ninth or 10th chapter, but I'm just building also and helping you to understand. So, what is this? Rati, Tripti, and Tushti cannot be active if I'm not a waker, if I'm not the body and the mind, if I'm not the doer, if I'm not the enjoyer. Simple. No, but pasta gives me the pleasure, gives you the pleasure. That you is the false I, that I am. That doer has come in the beginning first. With the memory, you have seen the pasta gives you the pleasure, and it has become tripti. Because you are acting because of the false I to have an enjoyment. That is why in karma yoga we say no, we are not the doer and the enjoyer. Now you see it is becoming more and more clear. Say for example in Rati, I need my morning coffee to feel good. It is not only the sensual pleasure. It is also that is also a sensual pleasure, the coffee. Rati. What is about Tripti? Let me check my investment portfolio. Tushti. How many likes did my yesterday's post get? Thought. These are the thoughts. Who owns this thought? The thinker. Who is the thinker? Thinker is I am. From where the I am come? From the sleep, dream, and now the moment I am a waker, mind is active, mind is reflected consciousness, the sun in the pond. It says, here is I am. How? In association with the body. Okay. Oh, that is why my mind says, let me check the investment portfolio. Answer is yes. How many likes did I get? Tushti. Thoughts. I need my morning coffee. And what about the speech? Let us see the speech example. Rati. Complaining about my sleep quality. What I have to do with the sleep? I cannot force to sleep. I can only allow external factors to be conducive to sleep. I can close my light, switch off the light, put the right temperature, but sleep may come and sleep may not come. But my mind has an idea of the sleep which gives me true rest and restfulness. So I'm still seeking a thought that is hesitation in my mind to fall into sleep and I don't get a sleep. Tripti. Discussing market trend with the spouse. Honey, market is rising. Trump is coming to the power. Or whatever it is. I'm just giving an example. So I have to do nothing. Yes, I respect both of them, whosoever becomes the president. You are president of my country, so it's okay. Tushti, commenting on the social media while commuting. Because Tushti gives you this tremendous energy. Oh, I got a good comment, so let me say good. Come on, you can do the same thing after reaching your home. Why you are doing it? Now. But I don't wait. I don't want to wait. Whether other guy who commented me is online or not. Action. taking a long hot shower, enjoying breakfast because you get the food that you liked, Tripti, checking bank account, planning purchases, posting gym selfie. I have one student who always posts his selfie on the Instagram. Is 6 feet 3 and 4 inches, and he is the same guy who went for a dining and who was attracted, but no girl was looking at him. So I don't realize this. So what happens in Rati, Tripti, and Trishti? I forget my real nature. What's happening? I get obsessed. I have a binge eating. My goodness. Can't
It's
wait.
funny. Become obsessed with awareness,
Yes.
right? It's the only thing I want to experience lately. Or if I'm looking at this computer, I'm thinking, is there space between me and the computer? Am I permeating the whole thing behind me in front? Right, the whole time I don't recognize, and I've noticed in the world, I went for a walk at night for a couple of hours. It was like a meditation, but I was thinking, is that? And then I was like, wait, why am I thinking? No, I'm just going to be walking in awareness, right? And the mind would say, hey, you're walking in awareness. I'd say, I no need
Yeah.
for that, right? Like, and I would just keep coming back, but it's not, the experience of awareness is more joyful, but it's not like an excitement. It's just like,
Yes. Yes. That
it is just a
excitement should
beat,
not be there.
but it beats excitement by
By
excitement
judgment.
has, it's so shallow compared to the natural state or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. Even the little taste I've had, now I'm so hungry for it. It's interesting, but I can see the danger in that, right? There's a,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
The
have to
moment
be
there is a
casual
the
about it.
moment you recognize the danger, the Rati, Tripti, and Tushti drops. Pleasure, absence of pleasure, my I am, that I am in the mind says boredom, and that same I am, first it says boredom, and the same I am says, oh, try new craving. Oh, let's have try new restaurant. Pleasure, boredom. So this say, all is happening in the I am. All is happening in the I am. Achievement, dissatisfaction, and then a new goal. All is happening in this I am. It has nothing to do with the real I. Validation, insecurity, seeking more. This too is happening in the I am. That is the reflected consciousness. That is the mind, intellect, and or you can say ego. Ego is not there in the sleep. So there is no pleasure, there is no boredom, there is no new craving. There is no achievement, there is no dissatisfaction, there is no new goal. At least every human being, quality may be different. They fall into sleep every day. And in that deep sleep, these things are not there. These things are not there at all.
Just someone who, so like an enlightened sage, for instance, do they know they were awareness in deep sleep, but they experience the same deep sleep that we do? Or is there a actual
There is an
awareness of being
awareness
aware?
that because that you are aware, body and the mind is sleeping. You are aware, the mind along with the body is dreaming. You are aware that the body and the mind is performing all the actions in the waking state. Because you have a clear distinction between the sun and the reflected sun. You have a clear distinction. When it comes in the highest state of meditation, so that is the another meaning. You are awakened to the entire existence outside, or what exists outside the world of the name and the form. Yes, 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 it happens. It happens. It happens. It doesn't mean that you disturb your deep sleep, because in that sleep, mind and body mind is not working at all. So it also happens with you. It is not working, you are aware. You are, it is not working, you are not at all aware. One aspect. You are aware of the dreaming and you are not aware. In a waking state, you are aware of all the activities you are doing and you are not aware. That's the only difference between the highest state of meditation, or which we say awakening. So all these thoughts and feeling and emotions and experiences comes from these three factors, and the Krishna is guiding in another way, then how to get rid of this rati, attachment to sensory experience and pleasures. And the moment you separate the two, perception by the eyes and the ear, you break the very seeking of that pleasure or a pain. You break both.
I found that it's fascinating. Even a pain in the body, if you go to find it,
Yeah, yeah,
kind of it evades you, it escapes, and it kind of goes away while you look for it. I'm not sure if that makes sense,
yeah.
but everything seems to be disappear when you look at it. When
It's
I look
simple.
into an emotion, right, it goes away. I was recognizing that, oh, I shouldn't see an emotion or the mind or thought. What if I said that's also me,
Yeah.
right? And the minute I did that, whatever what was like,
I am. Mind says I am, and then it recognizes a sensual pleasure. So now the master is guiding us. It means I am in rati. Now go a little deeper. I am in rati means rati. Sanskrit word root is ram. So what is that? Ram means to enjoy, to play. Oh, so I'm enjoying food and I'm enjoying sensual pleasures, etc., 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 etc. Again, keep that I am into background. I am. Trapti means satisfaction. Trup. It has come from the word root trup, to be satisfied, to be filled. Now, see, there are two kinds of experiences. In rating, to enjoy, to play, and in trapti, it is to be satisfied. Oh, that's enough. I don't need more. More pasta. I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
so a psychological
I
satisfaction, or
am,
is
yes,
that,
psychological. That I am is
or
coming
oh,
from
I
the
guess,
mind. Yes.
okay.
And the tushti comes from the root tush, to be pleased. Honey, I love you, so I'm pleasing. Really, you love? And do you love the honey who hates you? No, not at all. Oh, so you love honey because she also loves you or he also loves you. What it means? It simply means I love myself. I cannot love anyone who hates me. Tush. Tush. I am. Tush. I am is very important. That I am. Mental satisfaction through external validation. I have a sense of approval, a recognition, a social acceptance, and then ultimately I enter into that state of experiences. Now you see that if you look back into mm, all these verses, 33 to 34, Arjuna is asking, you have summarized, it appears impractical. Now, with reference to Rati, Tukti, and Tushti, with reference to how this I am takes birth in the waking state, the same I am, the real I am, falsifies the dream state. But it says, no, I don't want to falsify in the waking state because I have Rati, Tushti, and Tripti. It has in the background. Why it has in the background? Because I am is associated with the body. That is the problem. Now, from that perspective, now you look the question of the Arjuna. Arjuna says, you are talking of impractical. Who is saying impractical? I am. Because I already have lot of sensual desires. I'm an enjoyer. Why you are saying? I am saying impractical because I cannot leave those pleasures. Oh my goodness. My
Until we
mind
see every pleasure is also a pain,
pleasure
an
is
equal
also
pain. When you see the truth of pleasure, you don't want it anymore.
you see, Arjuna is saying, now the seeker, Arjuna is helping us, for the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. Oh Krishna, why don't you understand? To subdue it seems to me more difficult than controlling the wind. So, because of the I am in the waking state, carries forward with millions and trillions of impressions that I lived, I recognize the mind is inherently restless. It is naturally turbulent. It is fundamentally very strong. It is very obstinate. Why it is impractical, Arjuna? So that is why not all becomes the seeker. Even though we promise permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, but not every person becomes a seeker in this path, because I just take I take it with a conviction that it is strong, it is naturally turbulent. So that is what the human universal human condition is. Universal human condition. So what is the real challenge? Beyond the sensory control. Why Arjuna says it is impractical? Because I have seen in experiencing Rati, Tripti, and Tushti that I cannot stop eating. I cannot stop the sensual pleasure in the middle. It takes over me. I am is taking over me. That is the only thing. There is nothing that cannot be transcended. That cannot be. Oh, can you have a sexual pleasure without a thought, feeling, and emotion? Minus all the three. Have a sexual pleasure. Then you are hammering the nail in the wall. I should be very. Oh, so when I perceive this, I'm not going there, it's terrible. It's a terrible. So it's not that how can you control? No. How can you evolve and enter into the higher consciousness? That is more important.
Discrimination is like the most
Discernment,
important thing.
yes, discrimination or discernment. But
With knowledge.
Normally, you already see in our country, a couple of people in Canada approached me that you can teach good. I have seen your couple of videos. So you can teach the sexual tantra. There is no sexual tantra. It belongs to Rati, Tripti, and Trishti, what you are talking. So I thought better not to respond to them.
What's his name? Kevin. I know a guy in Canada who teaches.
Kevin and
that's
his spouse also.
Yeah, really? That's funny. What a small world. I was this guy talking about his tantra and he's relating it to sex and holding pleasure, and I was thinking like, wait, you're claiming to be a tantra teacher? I can't say anything, but I just think like, what a crazy notion. That's all they think. And he's like, I studied under this lady for 30 years. I'm thinking, so she was also misguided, right? What an interesting.
Yeah. I went to his website and I saw the videos and I said, you know what, Krishna is talking about transcending the rati, tupti, tusti, and tripti. You are finding the way to enter and get obsessed with it, dependent on it. How it is possible? So in 35 and 36 verse, Master is again, I'm returning to the same. What you say is correct. Krishna, guidance of the Krishna is so wonderful. He is always smiling. He said, no, you are correct. The mind is indeed very difficult to curb it, but by practice and detachment means every practice must go with detachment. And now you are teaching a tantra meditation by the sex to get obsessed. So where there is a detachment, there is no obsession. So what you are talking about it. So I said better not to respond, because if I respond and they will have a wrong questions to me. And it becomes difficult to answer the wrong logic. If you have a
I've learned
right
that
logic,
you
you can answer. So
Yeah.
my master always used to say, refrain from the wrong logic. Keep quiet, withdraw from yourself, keep a distance. That is the best approach you can do. There is nothing you can do, because their mind is already obsessed with those wrong ideas in the logic. But if you try to teach them, in turn they will teach you. They will demand, they will challenge. Where is the God? Where is the real self? Can you prove it? Huh? Which instrument that you need? So so 37 and 38 verse asked Master Krishna is saying that you have to now go for the understanding the rati, tripti, even though it is not mentioned, but he indirectly meant it. So understand this. It is rati, tripti, and tusti. It is I am. It is I am means the I am body and the mind complex. The whole creates a sense of rati, tripti, and tusti. So once you have understood, you can easily get rid of it. Pull back. So you are a worldly mindedness. That is causing worldly mindedness means I am the body and the mind complex. I am the rati, tripti, and tusti, and then it becomes difficult for me to get rid of it, and that is what the Krishna is saying. Krishna is also pointing out, not about a better pleasure. This is what you are seeking. Not about the higher achievement in the world outside, where the dollar does not chase you that you are the richest guy. I am association with the body, then with the bank account. Bloomberg declares that now the Elon Musk is the richest person, and so the Elon Musk also feels it. So, but fact is that it is the false I. It is the false I. Not about the spiritual validation, but about a complete transformation. This is what Krishna is saying. So Krishna is saying you just continue the meditation and gradually, but with dispassion, with discernment. With a dispassion and discernment. This is what the Patanjali also says. Abhyas vairagyabhyam tannirodha. Practice. He defines the practice as two elements. The steps that you perform plus dispassion. But dispassion comes only when there is a discernment. And what is dispassion? You are away from rati, tripti, and tusti. Then how the mind is difficult to control. You need not to control it. You bypass it. You transcend it. Do you control your sensuality before your mom? I'm becoming little tough on that. No,
Well, I did the same thing with a group
she
of
is
guys.
my
They
mom.
said, I can't control how I feel about women. And I said, hey, I've seen your sister. She's really beautiful. I think she's pretty attractive. What do you think? And he goes, that's my sister. I can't possibly think she's attractive. See what I mean? It's a choice, right? Like that you're not going to look at, not going to even consider it. But what's the difference? No difference. It's a label.
Do you see, my friend, this is so much rampant in our society in the form of a thought, speech, and action. We get carried away by it. We create a conflict, unnecessary duality, and that continues throughout our life. We die with Rati, Tripti, and Trishti. We are born with it and we live with it. That is the reason mind is not able, we are not able to control the mind. And when I'm not able to control the mind, then Master says, and I'll take another 5 minutes, faith in the effort from verse number 37 to 45. So Master is asking, Master is not saying how to get rid of this. Master is saying, can you cultivate faith? Can you do the practice regularly? Why? So that you can reveal the knowledge. Then the Master points out another thing from 37 to 45. I'm summarizing that it is saying it is a progressive path, gradual control over the mind. Don't try to control everything. So I realize one aspect, Rati. Oh, that's very good. Now my mind is open. My perception has become clear. That I am which is created chasing the Rati has dropped. So, okay. Oh, this is what you are talking of control. Answer is yes. This is I'm talking of the control. So Krishna goes in a step by step. He builds on small successes. He says, understand it. My master used to give that you are suffering from 104-degree Fahrenheit body temperature. Go for Rati. What happened to your Rati? What happened to your obsession? You say that, I cannot control my mind. Now, who controls the mind? It is your false eye. It is your false eye. It is your false eye. I can give you very tough examples. We all undergo through.
What if we can we not accept that there's a mind at all? I mean, because sometimes I look and I can't find it. What is mind?
Answer is yes.
I don't really understand it.
If you are totally absorbed into the highest state of meditation, there is no I, it means there is no you. There is no I, it means there is no world outside, the universe outside. There is a complete self absorption or dissolution. That is what we say the samadhi or the highest state of meditation. But as long as this body, we carry the body and the mind, it is not possible to carry forward that state of self absorption, of nothingness, which Buddha says with the body and the mind. But now I'm aware. Now awakening has taken place. So now there is no problem. I can play with the body and the mind. Oh, so it's a play and a fun. It's a play and a fun. So, but can I say that it is possible to? Yes. There were a couple of people, our great master and the king. Great master and the king, whose name is Janaka. Janaka lived into that state. Metaphorically, I'm talking about, so you have to contemplate and reflect. So, metaphorically, we explain about the Janaka that in one hand, he is holding the breast of a woman, on the other hand, he is holding the fire. That's a metaphor. It is not that, is actually practically, it's a metaphor. So he says it's a complete discernment. So how, as a king, he cannot commit violence? No, he is playing and fun, so he can punish the criminals in his kingdom. There is no, because that I am is absent. That I am is absent. So it's a totally in a different direction. But first we should reach there, and then so 37 I gave you, 38 I gave you, 38 and 41. Yes, 41 to another 5 minutes more. So in the 41 and 43 verses, now the Arjuna has possibly, I would say possibly, he has understood what Krishna is saying. And then in the 41st verse, he is asking the question, what about those people who continue their journey and they die? No worries. They will be born in a pious family. Their journey of the self discovery will start from the birth. We have hundreds of examples. The father of the Buddha could not prevent him to become the great master. Even he forced him into all kinds of pleasures until 16 years. Same thing with the Shankara at the age of 8. Same thing with another master, Swami Vivekananda. Because under the guidance of a great master Ramakrishna Paramhans, so he asked to the gathering, where is my son Vivekananda? Oh, he is meditating in the under a tree. Oh, he is already awakened. I have to just trigger his mind to this direction. He gets absorbed into meditation, and he used to dance. Master used to dance because you reach there. You reach there. Yes, that is what I will end with. Wonderful. I'll send you the picture also. I met this guy 35 years ago. He is a very good singer. He's a very good singer, very good singer. And then he attached and he continued his journey. The practices of meditation, which I used to guide 35 years ago, he has started guiding to many groups. It does not mean that he is guiding as verbatim. He has evolved to that level. And now I saw the picture. I didn't see his audio. I know he will not send. He'll be shy. So what happens? The teacher in you is awakened. It is not that you choose the profession as a teacher, because your expression, you want to express, you want to throw it out. The way we
It would be very hard not to share, not to want to share, right? When you see everyone suffering around you, and
yeah. Because of that suffering, you want to. The way we want to throw out rati, trupti, and trishti, so the way you want to throw out this peace and happiness and the joy. So then he sent me and he said, "This is what I gave," and I was so happy with the two pictures he sent me. I'll send you those pictures. You can see it, and that is all for